Welcome to the Maths in Motion screen tutorials. This tutorial is designed to take you through the steps you need to complete to enter in the timed lapse time trials event for the Maths in Motion racing series. This video is quite long, so it may be worth watching short parts and then pausing while you complete that section and then moving on. It's also helpful to refer back to it if you need to clarify anything. We hope you enjoy using the software and good luck in entering the racing series competitions. Once you have followed the steps in our previous video of how to join a racing series event, you can go to My Garage and see that a car has been created for that circuit. The next thing you need to do is to classify the features for that circuit. You can do this in two ways. You can click on the Resources tab and download from here the Race Engineer PDF and Technician PDF along with the relevant track plan for the track you are currently working on. Remember when printing these to print at 100% scale. Alternatively, you can do this online by going to the planning sheets and then clicking on Circuit Plan. Here you will see a range of tools to allow you to classify the features, each feature clearly marked with red cut lines. For example, to measure an angle, we can use the compass to draw two lines that intersect. We can then bring the protractor onto the screen and measure the appropriate angle by rotating the protractor. We can then use the table at the bottom to see which feature this is and go to our technician sheet and fill in the correct answer. When classifying, we can estimate if we wish, or we can just fill in the column with the actual features in them. You will need to do this for all the features on the circuit. You should now have classified all your features either on paper or online as shown on the screen. The next thing to do is to work your workshop adjustments out. To do this, click on My Car and Workshop Adjustments. Here, you need to use all the information presented to you to help make your car as efficient as possible on your circuit. The aim is to make the bars on the right hand side as close to 100 as possible, and you do this by moving the sliders at the left hand side up and down to see the effect this has on those bars. It can be a little trial and error, but as soon as you have those bars on the right hand side as close to 100 as you are able to make, this will affect the performance percentages and the safe speed at which your car is able to travel around the circuit. You will need to make a note of the numbers above the bars on the right hand side. Once you have noted the figures at the top of the bars on the right hand side, we are then going to refer back to our planning sheets, either on paper or on screen. To use the on-screen, click on Planning Sheets and this time Race Engineer. Now copy the maximum safe speeds from your circuit plan from the table showing the safe speeds. You then need to enter the settings you have written down from your workshop adjustments into column A. There is the option to come back and do settings for B and C once you have run some practice laps, but this isn't essential. In this example, we're just going to concentrate on settings A. We now need to work out our actual safe speeds. For example, with the settings we have calculated, for a short straight, our car will run at 86% of the maximum safe speed. To do this, we need to work out what 86% of 203 km per hour is. We will then enter this setting into column A. Once we have done this, we will repeat it for all the other features, and we should do this to 1 decimal place. Once you have calculated all your safe speeds and either made a note on paper or taken a photograph of these, you then need to enter them into the software for your car to be able to begin running practice laps. To do this, click on My Car and Safe Speeds and enter the speeds that you have calculated into this area for the relevant features. Once you have done this, you need to do the same for your features. Click on Features and Race Speeds and classify the features into the software that you calculated when measuring your circuit plan. Be careful to enter them correctly. Once you have entered them all, click on the blue button at the top to set them to your safe speeds. These are the speeds that you have calculated, and the software has automatically allocated them to the correct feature for when you begin running your practice laps. We're almost ready to begin running our practice laps now and see how quickly we can get a time on the leaderboard. First, click on Timed Laps and Driver Temperament. This is where you can decide what kind of driver you would like to be and decide how daring you will be during your racing and practice laps. We don't advise choosing sedate and we don't advise choosing dangerous, but it's entirely up to you what you decide to choose. Once you have chosen your driver temperament, click on Timed Lap. My screen says Practice Lap, but for the Racing Series timed event, it will say Timed Lap. Then click on Run Lap and look at what the weather is like at the circuit and choose tyres according to what the weather is like to make sure that you are using the most efficient tyres for that weather. Here it's standard dry. Once you click on the tyre, your lap will begin immediately and you will be able to see your car going round with the time elapsed increasing. If you have entered all of your features correctly and calculated your safe speeds correctly, you should make it round the course successfully and come out with your initial lap time. It's now time to go back into the software and try and achieve a better time. We have now successfully made it around the course at our safe speeds, but Grand Prix aren't won at safe speeds. So we need to go back to My Car, Features and Race Speeds, and begin looking at individual features where you can use the plus and minus button to increase the speed slightly or decrease it if necessary in order to try and get round the circuit quicker. Be careful to avoid the set to safe speed button unless you haven't made it around the course safely and want to reset to have another go. Once you've done this, click back on Timed Laps and click to run another timed lap to see whether you can beat your last time. Once again, you'll see the car going around the circuit, and hopefully the time that you see may be quicker than the one you had previously done. This will then allow you to keep going back to the leaderboards and check where you are on the actual leaderboards. You can now continue repeating the process of running timed laps until you have either produced a time you are very happy with or you have used all the available laps to you. Good luck, and we hope you enjoy the competition.